Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Creepy and Paranormal Show. Today's episode is number 21, and I am super excited to get into it. And this episode was actually inspired by one of the show's long-time listeners, Gemma Passmore. So a huge shout out to her for suggesting the topic. And before we go any further, I must just apologize. One of my neighbors is cutting his grass today, so if you hear a humming or a mowing sound, that's exactly what it is. And I normally, under normal circumstances, would just record another day, but unfortunately the show is already a week late, so I thought, why not delay it any longer? Now, we are going to be looking at the Bermuda Triangle, and the Bermuda Triangle is also known as the Devil's Triangle, which is a loosely defined region in the western part of the North Atlantic Ocean, where a number of aircraft and ships and all other flying and transportation devices have said to have disappeared under mysterious circumstances. Now, the idea of the area is uniquely prone to disappearances, which arose in the mid-20th century, but most reputable sources dismiss the idea that there is actually any mystery going on. Now, before we go any further, it's time for the show's intro.
Searching for the pilot and mother of the two children. ABC's Gio Benitez is here with the latest details. Good morning, Gio.
Robin, good morning. We are now entering day 3 of this desperate search. Parts of the plane were already found near Bahamian Island. The families this morning are now holding on to hope. This morning, a mystery over the Bermuda Triangle. 40-year-old mother Jennifer Blumen and her 2 young sons, just 3 and 4, missing, along with their 52-year-old pilot and friend, Nathan Ulrich. Their small plane disappearing from radar Monday afternoon.
We're doing everything we can to find this aircraft and missing individuals.
Blumen, the boys, and Ulrich were flying from Puerto Rico to Central Florida in a small plane just like this one, leaving Puerto Rico just after 11 a.m. Monday. But just 3 hours into that flight, at 24,000 feet, the plane vanishes right over the infamous Bermuda Triangle. Tuesday afternoon, the Coast Guard finding parts of the plane 15 miles east of Eleuthera in the Bahamas, but no sign of the 4 passengers.
Covering an area of 440,000 miles of sea, the Bermuda Triangle is part of a busy shipping route, with several vessels heading to America, Europe, and the Caribbean crossing through it each and every day. It is more due to the inexplicable outcomes that make it a highly studied yet enigmatic component of the Earth's actual surface. Now, over the centuries, many ships and planes have been reported to have mysteriously disappeared in the region. Also, the Devil's Triangle has been blamed for the disappearance of thousands of people in the past decades. The term Bermuda Triangle was first used by Vincent Gaddis in 1964 in his article published Argosy magazine. The stories around the Bermuda Triangle begin in Christopher Columbus's time, when he reportedly saw a flame of fire crashing into the sea in the triangle during his first voyage to the New World. However, the mysterious behavior of the region came to the public attention only in the 20th century, when the Navy cargo ship USS Cyclops, with more than 300 people on board, went missing in the Bermuda Triangle. The latest incident in the region is the disappearance of a small twin-engine plane in May of this year. Now, with 4 people on board, the plane suddenly disappeared from radar when it was flying from Puerto Rico to Florida, and the debris from the missing plane was found later. Right, let's get straight into our first ad break before we go any further. Everybody has their own morning routines, but on the top of my list is coffee. Strong, hot black coffee. I physically can't start the day without a cup. However, sometimes life gets in the way and you're forced to buy a cup of coffee while on the road. And if you're like me, you struggle to find one that tastes good and is affordable. Well, now there is a one-stop solution for you. Homeground Coffee. The name is brilliant, and so is the service. Situated at Benoni Northern Sports Ground, it's a nice central point for your morning commute. And why not get a delicious muffin or pie to go along with it? Homeground Coffee is the perfect go-to, and I advise you strongly to give them a try. When you do, let them know that I sent you. Find them on Facebook at Homeground Coffee as well as Instagram. That's Homeground Coffee, HOMEGROUND. Awesome. So now there was also an incident that involved a ship which was sinking, and it was a cargo vessel in the Bermuda Triangle which sunk during a deadly hurricane in October 2015. As the accidents, which were often mysterious, they continue to happen in the Bermuda Triangle region, many have offered a number of explanations for the mystery behind them. The role of paranormal activities and the presence of aliens have been strongly suggested by those who believe something odd is happening, while many with scientific views disputed the arguments offering rational explanations to the phenomenon. Among the few proposed scientific explanation, the more popular is the theory of electromagnetic interference that causes compasses problems. This theory claims that there is a very high pull of the Earth's natural magnet which redirects the compass and other sophisticated equipment and disallows them to take the intended route through the actual waters. However, as no single theory could offer a concrete explanation, many still believe there is nothing strange with the region, as most of the incidents were inaccurately reported or fictionalized versions of the original incidents. Notwithstanding that there is no proven theory for the exact reason behind the mystery of the Bermuda Triangle, the accidents continue to happen in the region each and every single year, and the legends of the Bermuda Triangle consist of a number of the mysterious disappearance of vessels in the region. Most of them remain least clueless still to this day. Here is a list of the most noted stories of disappearances or of the unresolved mysteries of ship accidents in the Devil's Triangle. Before we get into it, you guessed it, let's take one more ad break to thank our next sponsor. Today's sponsor is called Invoice Cloud. Now, this is really awesome if you're an entrepreneur, small business owner, or even a freelancer. You know how difficult it is to manage and then create those invoices for your customers. But with Invoice Cloud, you have everything you need to create simple, professional estimates on the fly. It's easy to use and understand, and getting rid of all the nonsense so you can have more time to do what matters most, which is to grow your business. Invoice Cloud allows you to add your company details, logo, customer information, as well as products, making it a breeze to send estimates to your clients anytime, anywhere. Now, if you want to start your free 7-day trial and get invoicing in just under 5 minutes, all you need to do is head over to invoicecloud.co.za and boom, you are sorted. That's invoicecloud.co.za. Right, let's start off the list with number 1, the Mary Celeste. Possibly one of the most mysterious stories of shipwrecks. This ship is a tale of its own. Despite being found adrift in some other location in the Atlantic Ocean, the connection to the Bermuda Triangle had been somehow invoked to find an answer to the mystery of its fate. Discovered on the 4th of December 1872, with everything right in place, except for the entire crew, the ship was found stranded on the sea days after starting its journey from New York to Genoa, Italy. Now, according to manifest, there were 7 crew members and Captain Benjamin Briggs, his wife, and their 2-year-old daughter aboard the vessel, which was loaded with raw alcohol. But days after, when a passing British ship called Dea Gracia found the Mary Celeste under partial sail in the Atlantic off the Azores Islands, the ship was unmanned with no crew aboard, and the lifeboat was also missing. It was also found that 9 of the barrels in the cargo were empty, and there was a sword on the deck. No trace of the people aboard the vessel or the missing lifeboat has ever been found till this day. Now, studies of the ship clearly ruled out the possibility of a pirate attack, since everything on this ship, including the barrels of alcohol it was transporting, as well as the crew's valuable belongings, was still intact. Theories surrounding the mystery of the Mary Celeste also include the chances of a criminal conspiracy, alien abduction, and even an attack by a giant squid. The possibility of a natural disaster was also on the list, and many suggested the role of an undersea earthquake behind the incident, while few proposed an accidental foraying of the vessel into the Bermuda Triangle. However, as much as these speculations seem reasonable, they clearly don't fit. After all, why would a perfectly skilled crew on a good weather day, with their ship entirely uncompromised, abandon it and then never surface again? Number 2. Ellen Austin. It is unnerving triangle mystery associated with the American white oak schooner Ellen Austin. In 1881, the 210 feet long Ellen Austin was going to New York from London when she stumbled upon a derelict near the Bermuda Triangle. Everything seemed fine with the unidentified schooner drifting just north of the Sargasso Sea, but the missing crew. Captain Baker of the Ellen Austin asked to observe the derelict for 2 days to make sure it's not a trap, and after 2 days with no response from the ship, the captain entered the abandoned vessel with his crew to find the well-packed shipment and no sign of the crew on board. To tow it back with Ellen Austin, the captain placed a prize crew on the ship, set to sail together. However, after 2 days of sail on calm waters, squall separated the path of the two ships, following which the derelict completely vanished from sight. Days after the storm, according to the stories, Captain Baker's lookout could spot the vessel through his spyglass, only to realize the vessel drifting far away aimlessly once again. Finally, after hours of effort, Ellen Austin could catch up with the vessel. But, as I'm sure you have guessed it, strangely, no one was on board. However, another version of the story suggests a second attempt by Baker to bring her back to land that ended with the exact same fate before Ellen Austin before abandoning the cursed vessel. Other reports suggest that the derelict was once more spotted, but this time had a separate crew than the prize crew placed on it by the actual Ellen Austin. The ship's disappearance, reappearance, and the prize crew's absence is an intriguing story. It is more like a secret of the Bermuda Triangle, one that has seemingly no chances of being unraveled anytime soon. Number 3. The USS Cyclops. The disappearance of the USS Cyclops, one of the Navy's biggest fuel ships, marks the largest loss of life in the history of the US Navy in a single incident. In March 1918, this massive ship set out to sail from Brazil all the way to Baltimore through the Bermuda region, carrying 10,800 tons of manganese ore with about 309 crew members on board. Setting off on a fairly good day, this ship's first and only message indicated no sort of troubles. However, the ship was never heard from ever again. An entire search of the area was put into action, but nothing was ever found. No remains of the ship or any crew members aboard have ever been found till this day. The captain of the USS Cyclops never sent a distress signal, and no one aboard responded to radio calls from other vessels which were in its vicinity. The naval investigators also failed to find a definite cause for its disappearance, though there were a number of theories suggesting various reasons. Due to its mysterious disappearance, Cyclops has become part of the list of more than 100 ships and planes which have vanished under strange circumstances in the Bermuda Triangle. Number 5. Witchcraft. On December 22, 1967, a cabin cruiser named Witchcraft left Miami with her captain Dan Burak and his friend Father Patrick Horgan. The two gentlemen's journey on the 23-foot luxury yacht was to enjoy the wonderful view of Miami's Christmas lights. However, after reaching just 1 mile from offshore, the Coast Guard received a call from the captain stating that his ship had hit something, but there was no substantial damage. Indicating help to be towed to the shore, the Coast Guard set off immediately, reaching Witchcraft in as many as 19 minutes along, but nothing to nothing. The area indicating the ship's location was completely deserted, with no signs of any ship having been stranded or even present there previously. What's most intriguing about this story is that this particular cruiser was virtually unsinkable, not to mention numerous life-saving devices present aboard, including life jackets, lifeboats, flares, distress signal devices, etc. Now, I'd just like to point out, when you start saying things like unsinkable, we know how well that turned out. Just look at the Titanic. Anyways, what do I know? Now, none of these life-saving devices were actually used, and the ship was gone completely. The Coast Guard officials searched hundreds of square miles of the ocean over the next few days, but were completely unsuccessful. Nothing of the ship has been found until this day. The ship is gone, and what remains is only the speculation that can be done now. So there you have it, folks. That's just the Bermuda Triangle wrapped up into a nice little bow for you, with some of the mysteries around it. They have, like I say, hundreds of planes and ships that have gone missing. There obviously have been stories of planes and that have successfully flown through, as well as ships that have sailed through, but they have experienced weird readings on the compasses. There was a story about a pilot also that he was flying through the Bermuda Triangle, and each time he approached a cloud, this massive dark cloud, it just started getting bigger, and not because he was getting closer to it. He said the cloud was growing, and he would go through the cloud and it would be pitch dark in there, which is not unusual because that's, storm clouds. However, after going through the third cloud of him trying to climb higher elevation to get above it, he managed to get hold of air traffic control to ask for his location because he had felt disorientated from where he was, and they said they could not pick him up on the radar whatsoever, which was rather weird. And when he looked down at his compass, it was just like, going crazy haywire. Couldn't point into true north. It was absolutely mad. Eventually he did find his way back to his destination, which I think was Miami. But so definitely something weird is going on there, whether it is completely explained away by science and got to do with magnetic pull, or if there is just some vortex to another dimension that is clashing with the current area of the Bermuda Triangle. I'm not too sure. I don't know. I'm caught in between two places. Like, I'd like to believe there's something mysterious going on there, but at the same time I do also understand the science behind it and tend to sway that way. But what do you think? What is your views on it? Let me know, and let's discuss it a little further. Guys, if you're enjoying the show, please keep giving me a thumbs up, like, subscribe, share it with your friends and family. Like I say, I really need to grow the show on a bigger scale, and I'd like to improve my recording setup with my mic and whole studio and all of that. So these things do cost money. If you would like to make a donation of some sort via PayPal or direct EFT transfer, please just contact me and we can definitely arrange something. But once again, thank you for your support. Thank you for always tuning in and listening to my videos and the podcast. I really do appreciate it. So yeah, and once again, massive shout out to Gemma Passmore for suggesting this topic. If you have any other topics you would like me to cover, you know what to do. Contact me. And once again, when you go to sleep tonight, don't forget to look under your bed.